So my name is Pauline Tanos, and I'm the Public Arts Coordinator at the City of Urbana. I'm just actually here to introduce some of the speakers tonight. So I'd like to invite leaders from both the IMC and the City of Urbana to say a few words. And we can start with Angela King. Angela is a board member at the IMC, and I'll give you the floor.
So I get the pleasure tonight of letting you know why we are all here. I'm a board member here with the Independent Media Center since this past December, so I'm still new getting to know what happens here. Independent Media Center is celebrating their 15th year in existence this year, as well as their 10th in this space in this building. The IMC they're really strong at pushing social justice issues in our community, and they're home to many great organizations like the Public Eye, Makerspace, Books to Prisoners, WRFU, the Art Gallery. Am I missing anything? And the latest venture, the Performance Lab. So tonight is a joint effort with the City of Urbana that was started last summer, last fall. There's a small team that worked really hard to submit a grant that is intended to take this center and this community to address some needs in our community with youth. And so with that, I want to announce that we have received the National Endowment of the Arts Our Town Planning Grant in the amount of $50,000. And so this project, it's called the Open Scene Debuts of Youth's Voices in Downtown Urbana. It's a project putting the youth at the center of planning for the future of the arts in the city. And so we're going to hear a little bit more about this grant tonight. Some of you already have the blue folders with some information in that. But one of the pieces we still need support on are community outreach partners. Some of our partners are up here, including Cranor Center for the Performing Arts, the School for Designing a Society, Champaign-Urbana Citizens for Peace and Justice, WEFT, Smile Politely, Urbana Business Association, Urbana Public Television, Neutral Design Studio, 40 North, and Will AM FM TV. And so lastly, the last piece of this that we need support on is we have a campaign to raise the last few dollars for this grant. We need to raise $5,000, and we have set up a GoFundMe account to help fund this last effort, and you can find out some more information over there if you want to donate or get more information at the info booth over there. So, thank you.
Thank you, Angela. And next up, I would like to invite someone who is from the other half of this grant application, so the City of Urbana. Unfortunately, Mayor Pressing is unable to join us today, although she's been a great supporter from the first day we started thinking about this grant. But instead of her, I'd like to invite Eric Jacobsen, council member of the City of Urbana, to say a few words.
I'm really, really happy to be here tonight and to see this. I serve on the City Council, also serve on the Public Arts Commission. I also was a member of the Traffic Study Task Force, which engaged me for a lot of last year. And I've really become, and this event at this place brings together two things that concern me a lot and concern the city of Urbana a lot. We have a very vigorous support of public arts. You can see this all through the downtown area. And many of us, and the city itself is really behind this, want to bring the city together as a community, really want to engage people together who have been more separate than they should be, respecting everybody's individuality, respecting everybody's identity, but believing that everybody should engage with each other. And this project, bringing youth, the people who've been making the decisions about public art in Urbana are old geezers like me. And that's sort of okay, but it's sort of not. And this project, which is going to bring youth downtown, give youth a voice in what the downtown looks like, in the flavor of it, in the soul of the downtown. It really, I think, is significant I mean, the resources are great, but I think this has a significance way beyond the resources in this grant. I hope, and I'm daring to hope, that this will actually be a turning point in the relationship between the neighborhoods and downtown. So thank you so much for the people who did the work, and the people who are supporting, and the people who are going to be engaged with this project.
Thank you, Eric. Well, at the City of Urbana, the Urbana Public Arts Program falls under the Community Development Department and Economic Development Division. So next, I'd like to invite Brandon Boyce, Economic Development Manager, who's one of our grant writers and who's also involved with this project in every aspect. So, Brandon.
Thank you. So the title, Open Scene, was as much a statement about what we want our downtown to become, as much as it was intended to be a statement about how this process will be an open blank slate, that the participants will utilize art to make statements about IMC, make statements about downtown. And we're very excited about this at the city because this is a method of engagement that, while we certainly support efforts like this and engagement like this through much of our programming, we often don't utilize this form of engagement and outreach and partner with organizations like IMC to do deliberate engagement and planning of what we want a part of our city to be. And the downtown is the center of our city, and we want it to be a place where everybody feels they can come together and be a part of not only participating, but becoming a part of the identity of our downtown. As the Economic Development Manager, I work on projects, I work on infrastructure projects, I work with businesses, but the foundation of the success of all of those projects is the vibrancy of our downtown and the people who come and patronize and participate in our downtown. So that's what this project's about, and we couldn't have found a better partner than the Independent Media Center. We needed an organization that was stable. We needed an organization that was supportive of the arts. We needed an organization with a proven track record of reaching out to all aspects and groups in our community and bringing them together. And the City of Urbana, we do an excellent job in public outreach, but the styles and formats of public meetings don't always reach everyone. So IMC, our public arts program, and the city's staff all together, we expect to do an amazing level of outreach. And we are so pleased to have attracted the attention of the National Endowment for the Arts through this grant, and we hope that this is just a first step in more activities to make our downtown a more lively place. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brandon. Before we move on, I'd just like to share a fun fact with you. So we actually have press releases ready for you to pick up on your way out. And if you don't get one, it seems like we may be going pretty low, but I will also send out a press release for you to get all the facts. But we are actually one of the only 2 organizations in the state of Illinois who received a grant from the NEA Our Town. Thank you. And the only one outside of Chicago, because the other recipient is the Art Institute of Chicago. I was impressed by that. So next up, because our project is so youth-centered, we think it's appropriate to invite someone whose creativity is it just brings so much energy to downtown. She actually is very involved with the IMC. You may know her already from her work. Coco Harmon. Is Coco here? So Coco is going to give a testimony on her relationship with the IMC.
Hello. Like she said, I'm from, hey, Tierney. Like she said, I'm from around here, and I'm not technically a youth anymore, but I'm still pretty young. But like the key points or key factors of my childhood and my development were like rooted right here, and like a lot of times in this actual space right here. Me, my mother, and my sister, Rachel Harmon, we were all involved with CUCPJ, Books for Prisoners, and different stuff like that. And that's when I met the Ammons, and after that, like all types of opportunities just came my way, because that's what happens when you mess with the Ammons. I was able to perform with poets from the Louder Than a Bomb documentary at Ebert Fest. Just so many different opportunities, and I think the biggest thing for me was learning about conscious things at a young age, and just being around conversations that mattered opposed to conversations about nothing, which is what a lot of kids do. I was in some of those conversations, but you know, with the help of my community and my parents, like I got involved in a lot of things that matter, and I still do those things to this day. So I know that whatever is going to take place with this initiative is going to be a very foundational thing for a lot of youth in this community. So I'm really excited to see all that's going to happen and to work with it, possibly, you know, because all that I do pretty much is focused around creativity and art and youth advocacy, and I think the combination of both is something more powerful than even my words can sum up right now. So I just want to say I'm really excited and thankful for the community that I came from. So good job on getting this done.
Thank you, Coco. And this is just one of the young voices that we would like to listen to in a better way. So next, Luttrell Bright is, well, this project is the work of many people, but I would say Luttrell is one of the people who really came up with this idea. So thank you, Luttrell, for your hard work, and I'd like to welcome you to the stage.
Hey, how is everybody? Good. So one thing that I want to say first is there was a team of us who wrote this grant, and it was, you pour your heart and soul into something, and even 3 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night. But I do want to say something about what I thought when I first heard that they were going to be applying for this grant. The IMC has been around for 15 years. There's been a lot of work that's been happening over that 15 years to make it primed for this grant. They're an organization in the community that isn't necessarily still trying to figure out how to do diversity. They're doing it better than most. And so, although I'm very happy that the grant was received, we deserve it. So first I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how the grant is going to work. Just go ahead and press, I just added this slide a couple of seconds ago. No, back. back. Yeah, just keep it there. So this grant is going to happen in 5 different phases, and the first phase is pretty long. It's really identifying who the stakeholders are going to be, who the youth are going to be, and who the artists are going to be. Within this grant, there is a space that we've created for a project coordinator, for an intern with the City of Urbana, for apprentices here at the IMC. The youth who are going to be involved, there's a stipend available for them because we recognize that young people, if they're going to be here and giving a commitment for nearly a year to this project, that there's some compensation that could be had. So we're really, that first part is really just figuring out who is going to be the main participants. So there will be stakeholders, there will be youth, there will be hired people to make certain it happens, and then there will be artists. But understand that the artists, the youth and the stakeholders are going to be the ones who come together, figure out how they're going to do the call for artists, and what we hope to do, no, what we said we'd do, so we're going to do it. 2 artists who are local, who are like knee-deep, neck-deep, buried over their heads in this work. We want to have at least 2 artists who are local, and then 2 artists from the region or national. So we want to bring in people that we don't necessarily know as well. The second phase is 4 weekend intensives. So each artist will come here and spend a Thursday through Sunday, well, actually it's a Friday through Sunday, and take the stakeholders and the youth through their artistic process of art and dialogue. And then phase 3, the participants will. Phase 3, the youth and the stakeholders will take everything that they've learned and devise their own way of communicating everything that they've learned with the community. And so the 4th phase, also in the 3rd phase, is presenting those workshops to the community, where you will be invited to come and participate, and the youth and the stakeholders will actually facilitate those. And so the art, the writing, the music, the movement, whatever comes out of that will be all of the art that is collectively gathered. So that in phase 4, they look at all of that art, they look at all of the surveys that we'll have after the showcases. They'll look at everything and figure out, well, what is it that we as a community want? Understanding that everyone can't have everything they want, but taking into consideration that lots of different voices and lots of different ideas will be in the pot. So a plan will be made together, and then phase 5, there's another grant, a larger grant that could render hundreds of thousands of dollars called Art Place. One of the things we're doing why we applied for the planning grant is to take this time to plan so that when we put that plan together, we can leverage that to apply for the Art Place grant, more Illinois Arts Council, and also Urbana Arts Program funding to implement that plan. So overall, what we're hoping is that a community will come together, decide what they want the arts in Urbana to be, and make a plan, and then make it happen.